I was thinking about something this morning when I was journaling, and I want to share it here. And one thing also that I want to warn everybody is that all of my videos are now, I want to try and be more consistent. So I'm always going to be wearing this. So that's just what it is. I'm always going to be, you're never going to know what day it is. I'm going to put it like that. Okay, I'm putting my earphones in for this one. So I was thinking about somebody that I knew from a long time ago. It was a guy, he had asked me out. And I was not interested in him, and so I turned him down. And he was like the typical nice guy, that kind of thing. And years later, he met someone, they got married, had kids, happy life, or so it seemed. But I was hanging out with them at, I think I got seated with them at some kind of event. And him and his wife were not very nice to me. And being that my brain is the way that it is, it brought that up today. I was thinking about that experience. And at first I was thinking about it and it was kind of in a negative way, but I was thinking about it after turning it over for a bit. I laughed a little bit because I can only imagine what this man and his wife's conversations about me must have been. There must have been some conversations about me because they saw me and she seemed like she had the same anger that he had towards me about, I guess, having turned him down all those years ago. And, of course, the route that I took in life is a route where I'm not married. I do not have kids. And my worldview is very liberal, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't know if liberal is the right word for it, but my worldview is very just free for the most part. Like, I try not to judge people for the decisions they've made. I've made decisions that I'm not particularly proud of, but I also understand the context of society and how just things happen. You know what I mean? Everybody is trying to make it in this world and doing the best that they can. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those people. I don't have bad intentions. For the most part, I'm, just trying to live my life, trying to survive. And most people are as well. And a lot of us are victims to our circumstances. And other times, a lot of us are just learning. Like, everybody's just, deserves grace. I'll put it like that. And so back when I turned this guy down, I was interested in somebody else who was like a bad boy. He was not a good guy at all. But having had that experience with the bad boy, I learned a lot about men and how, the world treats people and society, and just I learned a lot. It sent me on a path that has made me the person that I am today. And I thought to myself, now let's say that I went with that nice guy and having had the background that I had of growing up in a very religious household, very conservative views when it comes to relationships and just everything, really, like, very what is it? What I feel words, seeing the world as a place where everything must fit into a certain box. A woman must act this way, a man must be this way, and everything is, to be judged if it is outside of that box. If I'd have gotten into a relationship with that nice guy and things progressed and, maybe we eventually got married or whatever the case was, I feel like my growth would have been stunted. And what I mean by that is that man was very conservative in his views. And at the time, it would have aligned more with what I'd been taught and all of the things that, I was told about how the world is and how it should work. And I don't know that that was a worldview that is particularly one of growth. I don't know that I would have the level of grace that I have for other people. I don't know if I would have the wisdom that I have currently had I went that route. And my proof of that was the way that that man and his wife were. Now, me, if I'm in a relationship and a man is trash talking another woman, now as an adult, as a 41-year-old woman, I would think to myself, okay, this guy does he have feelings for this woman? Like, why does he care this much about another woman? You know what I mean? Like the judgment that this, if I'm with someone and they're talking trash about some woman, I would get a little, it would raise some red flags. I'll put it like that. It would make me uncomfortable that a man is trash talking a woman. And I guess whatever it is that said, I think would kind of also make me feel a little bit weird. Like, are you trash talking this person because they did something that was terrible, that was intentionally mean spirited, and that hurt someone? They caused harm. Like, what is the thing that you have against this person that would make you feel comfortable enough to be a hater and sound like a hater and tell me your present, your current romantic interest, your romantic partner? Why would you tell me bad things about another woman? That's a red flag to me now, having known what I know. Call me a girl's girl, call me whatever you want. But as far as I'm concerned, any interest that you are expressing in another woman, whether it's positive or negative, my ears are gonna perk up. I'm gonna be wondering what's going on with that. You know what I mean? Also, with all of the experiences that I've had just in general with people, I understand that there are two sides to every story. It's not even just two sides. There's like just endless sides to every story. You never really know what another person is going through. And a lot of the things that we demonize women in general for are things that society has created. They're monsters that society has created. So it's easy. I've done so many TikTok videos where I've talked about this, but it's so easy to demonize women and to put women into these horrible categories because society teaches women that if they are not owned by a man, if they're not a mom, if they're not, falling into a very specific box, a very specific category, then they are bad women. And so I strongly believe that that mindset would have been my mindset had I settled for someone like that good guy, that nice guy, all of those years ago. It would have changed the trajectory of my life. It would have made me a different person than who I am today. And I like who I am today. I like who I am today quite a bit. And that bad boy was horrible and it was a terrible experience. And I don't ever want to experience anything like that again. But I would not be the person I am today had I not went with him, the worst human being on the planet, as opposed to the nice guy who would have kept me stunted mentally in terms of how I view the world and seeing women as bad or good, seeing people in general as bad or good. Now that is a very juvenile way of seeing the world. And if I were at a party with my significant other and they're talking trash about a woman, I'm not going to join in on them in bullying that woman. But that guy managed to find a woman who was very conservative in alignment with his views. And I was the woman at the party that was being bullied. And it was that happened a long time ago, and I handled myself well. I'm proud of myself and how I handled it. But in hindsight, when I think about it, it's sad. You know what I mean? It's sad that clearly him and his wife were stunted in that way. Either way, I say all of this to say, I think it's a human thing to wonder what if. Also, some of the things that we might consider a regret would be more regrettable had we have done those things. So, I do not for a day, not even a second, regret turning that guy down. And from the outside looking in, I could imagine people being like, well, if you got with him, you would be married and you'd have kids and so on and so forth. But I'd also probably be in a different mindset, one that from the outside looking in is, to me, kind of sad. I like the me who is kind. I like the me who is understanding and who is liberal minded and who likes to see women win. I like that side of me that does not feel like I have to put down other women so that my husband feels better about himself or something. I don't know. Being in that woman's shoes and living that life for me would have been a nightmare, because from the perspective, from the way that I've grown, I see it, and it's a very limited perspective. And I personally, I consider myself a lifelong student of life. And so I'm always happy to learn more and to grow and to see things from so many different perspectives, and that kind of thing. So the idea of being trapped in a mindset that would not allow me to see the different perspectives of life and of people's story, and to also have grace, that would have been a nightmare. So I have no regrets in that regard, but there are areas of life where I do kind of have some regrets, and I have to remind myself. And I think about, that's where this story kind of comes into play for me, is reminding myself, well, if I'd have done the right thing, I would not be who I am today. And what would I be willing to sacrifice? What lesson that I have learned, what valuable lesson would I be willing to part with because I went a route that would not have taught me what I know now? The route that I have taken in life has led me away from religious doctrine, and has led me to the path of just learning about all kinds of spiritual values, and just things that I'm just, every day I'm learning something new, and I'm learning how much I don't know. And I love that path. That's the path that I am on, is one where I don't think I have all the answers. I don't walk into a room and, this person's bad, this person's good, this is up, this is down. Like, I'm willing to learn, and I like that. So yeah, this was something I was thinking about today, and kind of just a reminder for me that even the mistakes that I have made are worthy of gratitude. Everything that I have, everything that I know, everything that I've experienced is a lesson, and it is something that I can take with me and kind of be proud of. You know what I mean? Not everything. You don't have to be proud of everything. You know what I mean? But like, ultimately, I'm happy with the person that I am, even if from the outside it may not look that appealing to other people. That's totally fine. This is my journey, it's nobody else's. So that's it. I hope I got my point across. Please share your experiences or anything that you feel like I may have missed in the comments. And let me know if you've had an experience that has led you to kind of be happier with the decisions that you have made. Even ones that you might feel like were more regrettable, that kind of thing. Like, let's hear about the gratitude that you have for the you that you are. I want to hear that in the comments.